What's that smell? Oh yeah, it's a new location. No, this one's actually not permanent. It's just the fact that the downstairs is in such an array that you quite literally can't see the floor. So, that's why. So, now that we got the boring part out of the way, let's focus on the less boring part. The VHS remote programming. Okay. And this is made by Fisher, and it is apparently the studio... Actually, does that say something there? Answer, we will never know, because the focusing on this is horrible. Probably just because I have the flash on. The studio antenna band? Antenna land? Antenna bands? I don't know. It's a word they made up. And again, it's made by Fisher, which I'm almost 75% sure has gone bust at this point. It's a video recorder, no duh. And it is model number FVH-4050. So, this is quite an interesting case, as far as a lot of my VCRs go. Mainly because, well, for two reasons. One is because this is probably the oldest VCR I own. The second reason is, well, I'll get to that in a bit. But, again, this is probably the oldest VCR I own. And there are quite a few testaments to that. First thing is that, instead of looking like a typical VCR, it sort of looks like what would happen if a stereo or a receiver or whatever, I'm pretty sure they're the same thing, mated with an 8-track player. And this is what it would come out like. It is, well, quite unique in styling. Actually, I would bet money that this was the standard back in 1983 or whenever this came out. But, you know, it's quite interesting. This is apparently OTS. Or no, DTS. I don't know what that means. But that doesn't matter because we have Quartz PLL digital synthesized tuning system. Digital synthesized tuning system. Okay? 122 channel. Wow! That's exciting. Oh wait, no, it only says 122 channel. Okay, I don't feel that special now because it only gets channel 122. 1 year, 6 event. What? And super high speed search. What? Oh, okay, these things that they're advertising, they're just weird. What does half this stuff even mean? Okay, so another testament is, look at all of these buttons. We have start time and record time, and that is QTR. Again, I don't know what that is. Actually, no, that's not the same thing. I don't know what QTR is. We also have tape speed and VCR or TV, which is a feature that even modern VCRs have, and I always just wonder what's the point. Couldn't you just turn the power off? We have channel up or channel down, pretty standard. We have power, we have record, pause, fast forward, stop, play, rewind, and eject. Another interesting thing is this may be the only VCR I've ever seen that has a stop and eject button, a separate stop and eject button. On here we have cable or TV, which... Oh, I see what that is. It's like on the... What was it? It's like on the original 2600s when you had that dial. Ah, okay, so like you could have two things hooked up at once. Which is nice. Erase, I think this means like you can erase whatever settings are set on this thing. Channel programming, alright, fair enough. Tracking, and this is quite an interesting thing. It's actually a manual tracking dial as opposed to a digital tracking buttons or auto tracking, which is probably the biggest pain in the butt in the universe. because, like, I don't know, like, these auto-tracking VCRs never, like, give you the option to manually track, and basically that means that auto-tracking will sometimes screw it up and screw up your tape. It is high quality, apparently. I'll take them to that in a moment. We have mono AV, which I'm not sure how to get. I'll get to that later. And we have the coaxial in and coaxial out. I'm pretty sure I got that right. So, without further ado, no, I'm not going to turn it on. In fact, I'm going to take the top off. Also notice, look at that, metal. VCRs don't do crap like that anymore. Well, actually, VCRs barely exist anymore, but the few VCR DVD combos that exist nowadays are, like, barely metal. So, now that we've got that out of the way, let's take a look at this. This is what lies inside of this beast of a machine. I mean, look at this. We have, like, this entire circuit board just for this one display. And here is the entirety of the tape mechanism, which is really dirty. Man, I gotta clean that up. But, like, look at all of this stuff, man. So, without further ado, let's play a movie. And the other thing I wanted to say, this had 3 problems, 2 of which were fixed on their own. I will repeat that again. This thing fixed 2 of the 3 major problems that it had on its own. The third problem I'm not sure how to fix, because it seems to work and not work at random, but we'll get to that in a bit. So, we got Karate Kid, and the first problem it had is it ate the tape. And it does not do that anymore. Even though, knowing it, it probably will. But yeah, there's Karate Kid.
Are you okay? Oh, just leave me alone. I'll help you. No, just leave me alone. I'm okay. Come on now, let's go.
Yeah, high quality, my left foot, and also the sound's really quiet. But, again, you can adjust the tracking to a point where it's, like, barely anything, and you can't even get any sound. That might just be something having to do with my TV, like a feature on that or something. And again, there's some static there, and you can adjust the tracking just like that. The other thing you can do is, of course, rewind and fast forward. Let's fast forward in the tape. So as you can see, I am typical fast forwarding. Now, what is a feature that doesn't seem to happen with a lot of modern tapes and VCRs is you can hold this down and get a faster fast forward, well, in tape mode. You know what I mean. But usually this is only valid on the recorded tapes in today's VCRs, but no, this allowed you to do it with any tape. I don't know why they got rid of that feature, but whatever. You can also rewind, of course. And fast rewind. And there's the mechanism, just in case you wanted to see that. And we'll stop the tape. Look at how complex that mechanism is. So, let's fast forward, actually. So it'll fast forward just fine. But the problem with rewinding, and it seems to do this at random now. Yeah, see, look, rewind works now, but every so often it's going to have a bad, it's going to have weird speed problems, and I'm pretty sure it just has to do with, like, looping the tape. Oh, see, there we go. It just stopped right there. So, I don't know, I guess I'd have to buy a VCR rewinder if I was actually planning on using this as a real VCR. But, there you go. And, again, it won't eat your tape anymore. The other problem it had was a speed problem, and, well, obviously doesn't have that anymore. You heard the audio. Probably barely, but you heard the audio. And the third thing is, well, the rewind thing, which wasn't completely broken. So, there you go. 3 problems, 2 of them fixed on their own. Aren't old VCRs just the best? Yeah. So, anyway, that's all for this video. Bye. Also forgot to mention, I'm supposed to show you why I can't get AV on this. Well, it's quite simple, really. There's no spot for AV. It just goes from 3, and if you go back a channel, it's channel 83. Which is bullcrap. I paid for 122 channels. I paid $3 for this thing, and I expected 122 channels. Darn it, Fisher, you lied to me. Heartbroken.